The slave who became a samurai. The untold journey of Yasuke. Imagine a man ripped from his homeland, sold into slavery, shipped across oceans, and then rising to become a samurai in the heart of feudal Japan. This isn't fiction. This is history, and it's the kind of story you were never taught in school. Africa, somewhere between Mozambique and Sudan. The exact origins are unclear, but what we do know is this. He was tall, nearly 6'2", strong, dark-skinned, and dignified. He was no ordinary man. In the 1570s, Portuguese missionaries arrived in Japan. Alongside one Jesuit priest, Alessandro Valagnano traveled a bodyguard, an enslaved African. His name, we don't know what he was born with. History records him only as Yasuke. When Yasuke arrived in Japan in 1579, everything changed. He was unlike anything the Japanese had ever seen. In a world where the average height was around 5 feet 3, Yasuke towered over everyone. His skin, his strength, his presence stirred both fear and fascination. Crowds flooded to see him. So many, in fact, that a riot broke out in Kyoto just to catch a glimpse. People thought his skin must be painted with ink. They tried to scrub it off. And then, he met the most powerful man in Japan. Oda Nobunaga was a warlord, a brutal, brilliant leader in the Sengoku period. When Japan was fractured and soaked in blood, Nobunaga didn't fear difference. He respected power, discipline, and character. And Yasuke had all three. What happened next was unthinkable. Nobunaga made Yasuke his retainer, gave him a home, a sword, the rank of samurai, an honor almost never given to a foreigner, let alone a former slave. Yasuke now stood beside generals and warlords, clad in armor, wielding a serving at the side of one of Japan's most feared and admired leaders. This was no token gesture. Yasuke was trusted, respected, and fought in real battles. He wasn't decoration. He was a warrior. He learned Japanese. He followed samurai code. He trained and bled among them. He witnessed courtly rituals, studied combat strategy, stood on the front lines of war. But like all stories of glory, darkness was never far behind. In 1582, Nobunaga was betrayed by one of his own generals. Surrounded and outnumbered at the Honagi Temple in Kyoto, Nobunaga knew it was over. Rather than be captured, he performed seppuku ritual suicide. He tried to protect his master. But the enemy was too strong. Nobunaga was dead, and the samurai world Yasuke had entered was collapsing. Captured by Mitsuhide's forces, Yasuke faced a grim future. But something unexpected happened. The Japanese didn't know what to do with him. He wasn't one of them. But he wasn't just a foreigner anymore either. He was a samurai. And yet, he had no land, no lineage, no clan to protect him. Mitsuhide ultimately handed him back to the Jesuits, stating he was not Japanese and not worthy of death. After that, Yasuke vanished from the historical record. Some say he returned to Some believe he stayed in Japan, living out his days in silence. Others whisper that he continued to fight as a ronin, a masterless samurai, in the shadows of history. We don't know, and maybe that's what makes this story linger, because Yasuke was never supposed to matter. A black man in 16th century Japan, an enslaved African elevated to samurai status? It's almost too improbable to believe, and yet, it happened. He shattered every boundary of race, status, and geography. He proved that courage, honor, and strength are not born in bloodline spot in choices. He wasn't just a warrior, he was a symbol. In an age of war, he chose loyalty. In a world built to forget him, he forced remembrance. In a history written without him, he carved his name in steel. And even if that name is half lost to time, the echoes remain. Today, Yasuke is more than legend. He's a reminder that greatness knows no origin, that the fight for dignity, for place, for selfhood, is timeless. That even in the most foreign of lands, against all odds, a soul can rise. So when we think of samurai, think not just of katanas and cherry blossoms, think of the man who walked out of bondage and into legend. Keywords: Yasuke, African, samurai.